Welcome everyone on this beautiful and hot Thursday in Florida. My God, we had temperatures close to 100 and over for weeks now. My poor fruit plants, they need watering almost twice a day. And we have with us Gary Parents. And unfortunately, Sarah could not be here today, but we will have her back next week, I hope. And we were considering, oh no, we decided, not considering, we decided to talk about energy, your energy, and what you can do, how you can raise it naturally. And for the new people who are listening in, a little background about me. I'm actually from the Netherlands, and I'm sure you can hear that from my accent. Even 20 years in the United States didn't change that. I am I see myself as an ongoing student of Dr. Morse, and I am a certified practitioner in Iridologist, and so is Gary. Gary was with his training a few years ahead of me. And Gary went a lot into Qigong and breathing and teaching us about that. He has been on our podcast a few times. And to make it easy for people, if you want to go back to find the podcast that we did with Gary before, on the channel there is a playlist, and it's specifically for Gary. We also have one for Daniel Reuters and one with Tad Chatham. So today, talking about energy, we all, I have to say, it's like struggle. I don't like the word struggle, but we all experienced tiredness at times, not knowing what to do, wondering where the heck it comes from, even when you are on all fruit. And it is something that we need some help with that, to be honest. I know I do at times, but I have the luxury that I can take a cat nap in the afternoon. And I want to talk about that too, Gary. But what we learned is that, and I have to say that changed it for me when I started on all fruit. I actually had more energy. But we hear too that people are on all fruit and have less energy. And so let's dive into that first, Gary, shall we?
Okay. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I love being here. I love talking to you. I have here what is a conductivity light. So this would be your adrenals. And I have a glass of water. I have actually two glasses here. And this tap water. You can use bottled water. I've tested everything. Mineral water. Tested it all. And we're going to start this by using a lemon. Okay. This is the energy of the day that was picked. Each day that goes by, it loses a little bit more of its energy that can be transferred into the body. That's why animals are so strong. They're eating ripe fruits, berries, melons, veggies, whatever it is they're eating. It's grounded by the plant, and they're grounded to the earth because they don't wear shoes, and they're eating ripe, fully charged fruits, berries, melons, and veggies. And that grounding is a connection, and your teeth are electrical. Each tooth is connected to an organ or a gland. So when you're chewing, this is what activates the saliva, whatever area you're chewing in your mouth, your molars. It lets the pancreas know what it has to produce for enzymes to digest your food. So when we start doing live liquids, it takes a lot of the burden off the pancreas and the digestive system. And fruits, berries, and melons do too, because they're mostly water. If they're sun ripened, and they will give you massive energy. Now, anybody who doesn't have that, they're missing something else in their body. There's a deficiency. Could be selenium, could be vitamin C, well, in the fruits, berries, melons, there's a lot of vitamin C. But there's nutrients that is missing in their body that they're not connecting to charge it. And I would be willing to bet that it's breath. Breath is 70% of your detox. So this is only, your diet is only about 30%. Your movement, your breath, your first breath was in and it turned on your energy, your electrical system, your heart, your lungs, your whole nervous system was turned on by that first breath, and you can't be here without it. And the last one is out. The last breath is out and exhale. Energy goes back to source and the body stays here. So it's important to understand our greatest ability to charge our body is fruits, berries, melons, veggies, breath work, movement, rest. We had talked earlier about naps. So naps are extremely important. We hate them as kids and we need them as adults. So, and we have every excuse in the book to go take a nap. But a lot of us, because we're given such a hard time, even as adults, what are you doing? We're taking a nap. Well, get up and get busy, right? You never get to rest. We don't have solid rest because we're not breathing properly. We're not moving properly. We don't have to run marathons to rest. All we need to do is move and breathe in through the nose, create that nitric oxide, which helps the body relax, which is energy. So what I wanted to do was, okay, this is your adrenals, and this is plugged into the wall. There's 110 volts right here, right in this right now. If I stuck this in my arm, it would electrocute me. That's why you can't buy these. You have to make these. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it right into this lemon. Okay, we'll just leave it there for a minute. And you watch this light bulb. It'll take it a minute to get through, but you see it start to come on. And if I move it around, it'll get even brighter. And you can see it fluctuate. This is energy for your body. So, and you might have heard that, because it will start to cook this lemon. And when I take it out, you might be able to hear it. It goes, okay, that's the energy leaving it. So this is the big test. I'm going to put this in water. This is tap water. And I've tested every kind of water available, even mineralized water. Why is that light bulb not lighting? It's in water. And I could leave that there until that water completely evaporated. It will not light that light. So everybody's talking about drinking water to hydrate. And you think it's going to build energy. But the truth is, this our fruit, we need minerals with it. So I have some Himalayan salt here. You don't want to be using table salt for this. You want Himalayan salt or Celtic. Celtic actually has more. This is just a little tiny bit of salt on here. And you watch what happens to the light. And I'm just, well, in fact, I'm just going to pinch some on my fingers here. And we'll put it in there. Okay, you see that? Now the salt's supposed to be in our food, but very seldom is it in our food anymore because it's not in the fruit or the vegetables when they're picked. It's not really going to help us out much. And I just put this here so you could see the light better. Now, this is your adrenal, and that is your stomach. So what I have here is some sugar. It's just granulated, man-made, bleached sugar. We'll put in kind of kind of a level teaspoon, and watch what happens to that light. This is what happens to your adrenals when you do this. You see that go down? It will fight its way back. So what's happening is, and you see it may not come back as bright as it was. So what's happening when you put sugar in your stomach, it's a poison. And the available energy in your body that allows you to do things during the day, that energy is forced into the stomach. And your adrenals kick into passing gear, just like your car. Driving down the road, you want to pass somebody, kicking into passing gear to go by. Well, it's the same thing. Adrenals are the same thing. When they're forced to take care of the digestive system because of this artificial food that has a lot of sugar in it, it kills your energy. The adrenals come up, you get a boost. Just think of an energy bar and an energy drink. They're not actually energizing you. They're slowing you down, and it kicks your adrenals in. And then 2 hours later, because you've got that boost, 2 hours later, you have the lull because that is being taken care of. And as the energy comes back, you get more energy back to do things. And your adrenals drop. And when the adrenals drop, what do? You grab another one. So you're causing your system to crash and kick into overdrive all the time. And after a while, the adrenals start to get weak. And if it gets, you hear that in there burning, and that will stay lit. This will stay lit until that water evaporates, because this is energy. Okay. So let me shut it off. So adrenals are in passing gear. Gets done with this, the adrenals crash, and you have another whatever to kick your body back up, right? Energy drink, energy bar, okay? These are mostly sugar. So the digestive system starts to suck up all the energy to deal with the poison. Your adrenals kick back up. Like I said, you can only do that for so long before you have adrenal crash. Now, you have to be very, very, very careful. It doesn't take much salt, but we're sweating it out. We're peeing it out. We're crying it out with salt. That's salt, right? But we need to replace it because the body doesn't make it. And the other thing I wanted to point out is there are 18 teaspoons of sugar in one Arizona iced tea. And if you have a pastry with that, that's what's happening to your body right there. And you go into what's known as a sleep coma. That's when you eat and you fall asleep, or you have a beer and you fall asleep, or you have 3 or 4 beers and you fall asleep, or any alcohol. All alcohol is sugar. So people that are having a disease called cancer loves sugar. These are all low vibrational diseases. And it's done by this right here. Okay, let's stir that, see if we can get it to light. Okay, so basically your adrenals are gone right now. So let's see if we can get them back a little bit. This would be known as a food coma. So as our body runs out of energy, we need to replace it with live foods, live liquids, because these dead foods, like we were just talking about, going through a grocery store, right? We walk by all the live food to go read the labels on all the dead food in the middle. They're just fillers. And the longer the shelf life is on whatever that food is, the shorter your lifespan is. And the more dis-ease you will experience if you eat too much. So we need to find the balance that sugar is food in the middle of the store. There's no live food there. And we're reading the labels, avoiding the stuff that can keep us energized and healthy. And then we mix in the breath and we get the whole diaphragm going up and down. I did a video a while ago. You take a toilet plunger and your toilet's plugged, right? And you plunge it and it clears it. Well, the toilet plunger of the body is the diaphragm. When you inhale through your nose and your diaphragm drops, your heart relaxes. Your lungs expand. Rib cage and back expand. And the air goes down in, and the deeper it can go into the lungs, the more oxygen blood transfer you have, which is your energy. It's alkaline. And as it's circulating through, it is oxygenating, nutrifying, and hydrating all your cells, the ones that can get to it. If you have congestion in there, then there's going to be an issue because the tissue is too dense for the energy to really flow through the way it's supposed to. And the more energy it takes, the less energy you have to build your body. It takes about 60% of our energy to digest our food. So here we are at 100%, right? This is a frequency because energy is a frequency. It creates matter. So as that frequency lowers, it doesn't mean you'll have, but you'll be susceptible to cold, flu, fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, Parkinson's, MS, cancer. These are all frequencies, not diseases. And they are there because they love low energy, low frequency. And it affects all our organs and glands. You know, if you're having an issue with hernias, that's parathyroid, temperature, thyroid, transmitting and receiving, that's the pineal gland. When we take a deep breath through the nose, diaphragm drops, nice belly breath, diaphragm drops, it's massaging the organs and glands, is pushing blood and lymph through to help break up that, just like that toilet plunger. It's unplugging things in your body. 2/3 of our fluid is right here. And we want that to work up and down on purpose. Yes, it's electrical, but it can be manually overridden. And then when we stop manually, the automatic part will go back. But we put a lot of oxygen into our lungs, into our bloodstream, and it's helping to get into areas it hasn't been in. I mean, all arthritis is dehydration of a joint. And arthritis is just a word so that we've been trained to know what arthritis is. But where it is, all I do is point at it. Yep, oh, it's right there. Oh, so down there. That's arthritis. It's lack of circulation. It's lack of energy. The energy can't get in there to feed, hydrate, and nutrify, well, feed and nutrify the cells so that they can reproduce properly. So if you've got a problem with a knee joint, that's your fascia, that cartilage is your fascia. And the cells are literally suffocating. They're dying of thirst, and they're not getting the nutrients they need because the blood can't get in there. There's very little of it in there anyway. So a good thing to do is to sit on the edge of a table or a bench and just let your feet hang down from your knees. And you can put like a 1 pound weight on your foot if you wanted to. You don't need to, but can. And you just let it hang and you just move your foot around like this. And that will rehydrate that joint. Talking about the knees right now. That'll rehydrate that. And when you stand up, there won't be as much pain because you're not bone on bone anymore. That's all injecting stuff in your knee. That's what they're doing. They're putting a cushion in there. But that cortisol that they're putting in there, that cushion, helps deteriorate, degenerate the cartilage. And we need energy in there. And that energy is the oxygen, the blood, the nutrition. So we don't want to get caught in this trap right here. If you notice that you're starting to get groggy, like Thanksgiving and Christmas is a great example of that, right? People overeat, they overdrink, they go in the other room, they're in pain or whatever, right? And they just drift off. Sometimes they drool. These are food comas because there is so much going on in the stomach that it's demanding all of your energy, and there's not enough for you to complete your whatever it is you're doing. So the body's smart enough, it goes, you're gonna do this to me? I'm gonna check you out, baby. You're going to sleep. And that's exactly what happens. But we're not listening to our body. And we just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And then we'll wonder why we don't have any energy, why our adrenals are so weak. Our system is exhausted because we keep pushing it. We keep keeping it in passing gear. It's got to fight all the time just to survive. That's what's really going on inside our body. And when we really listen to it and we hydrate it with live liquids and water, it's like, here's another glass right here, just to show you. Actually burn some of that to the bottom of that. Okay, you're not going to see that light. You can't do it because there's nothing there. If I stuck my finger in it, it would light because I'm the minerals. So these are the things that it's important to learn and know and understand is we are a energy generating plant. And the biggest energy generator is our breath. In and out. It turns up our metabolism. It keeps us strong. You'll have this strength of 10 tigers. Literally. If you learn to use your breath and start eating and drinking live foods and liquids. I mean, it is amazing the difference that you will feel. And not to go out and exercise. Your body's not ready for that yet. Just movements, just slow movements. The faster you move, the more energy you burn. So we want to just, there are masters. It takes them a half an hour to do one move. The slower you move, the more energy the body is building, and it's not burning it. And energy created matter. So if there's something wrong with the matter, as the energy flows in, it will start to heal it. Energy created it, energy can heal it. And it's self-regulating. We need to just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Let light and oxygen get in there, ground ourselves to the earth so that electrical charge starts to flow through the body. Any dis-ease, electrical dis-ease in the body will go out through the feet, or you can lay down on the ground. And you give your body, you don't have to, but it's better to go out. And when you lay down, just go into like a state of meditation and give your body permission to release into the earth, out into the universe, that which does not serve you, that's stuck in your body. And you'll be amazed how much better you feel when you get up. You know, if you ground 5 to 10 minutes a day, I prefer more, but if you can do 5 or 10 minutes a day, you'll see a great change in your body. And if you're so busy, super, super busy, that you can't take 5 to 10 minutes to do it, you should do 40 to 50 minutes. Because what's going on here is affecting what's going on through the whole body. As above, so below, right? Same with the diaphragm. As we're breathing in and out, the diaphragm is moving up and down, just like that toilet plunger. And it's starting to get rid of the clogged and densed and condensed areas, keeping our 6 lymphatic gates open. This is gate 1, above and below the collarbone. Okay. This is so that energy can flow, because this is part of the lymphatic system, these 6 gates. And if they're not open, things start to build. And the second one is right behind the ear by the jawbone. There's a little hole there. Okay. And then we're rubbed down the neck. I have videos on this also. And I think I've done it in other videos on Tony's show. So this is why gate 2 and gate 1 are so close together. Because if these get congested, either one of them, acids start to back up in the head. And we have brain fog, forgetfulness, dementia, Alzheimer's, plaque building on the skull. And when the plaque builds on the skull, the antenna can't send the information out, and it can't receive it. That's why we can't remember, because our memory is in the universe. It's in the water. And we'll never fill it up. It's your private thread. It's your frequency. Okay, it's different than somebody else's. We were talking about that earlier. You have a transplant, so whether it's a kidney or a heart or a lung or liver or whatever, right? That came from a person of a different frequency. Their cells vibrate at a different frequency than yours. And when they put it in, wherever it is, your immune system will attack it because it doesn't recognize it. So the medical system has figured out how to turn off your immune system so that it won't attack whatever is being replaced. And you'll be on that drug for the rest of your life, which causes massive depression, suicidal thoughts. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go with that. And this is happening probably on a daily basis. That's what happened to Robin Williams. Massive depression. So as we build the energy in our body through proper hydration and understanding that man-made sugars steal our energy, drop it, kicks our adrenals up. And over time, if we keep doing that, which we do every single day, because the sugar is in everything, just like soy, right? Sugar is in everything. And it's not natural, it's man-made sugar. Just like we don't use man-made salt, because it has sometimes sand, sometimes aluminum in the salt, so that it doesn't cake. So you can shake it out. It's always shakeable. Let's put it that way. It's not a big clump in it. And as that stuff enters our body, it goes into our bloodstream. And do you want sand, silica, running through your veins? Do you think it might scar it a little bit? And because cholesterol is, I call it the bondo of the body. It's an alkalizer. So the body's producing cholesterol, and it goes out and it starts patching those spots. Because it's wounded. It's like an interior bandage. And what do, they put us on a low cholesterol diet. Your brain is mostly cholesterol. You know, and like real butter versus margarine, or I can't believe it's not butter, whatever it is, right? Those things are almost plastic. They're one thing away from plastic. You take butter and put it in the garden or out in the yard, whatever, and you take margarine and then you take plastic and you put it out there on the everything will go to the butter. It won't go near the other two because they're not real. And we're shoving this stuff in us all the time, and it's having a chemical reaction with our internal body, which is stealing our energy, just like that sugar is. And you can have what you consider the greatest diet in the world. If you're not fully energized, then you are missing something in your diet that your body needs. But we've stopped listening to our body, and that's probably the most important thing. And what I hope this right here is showing us is, we'll put a little bit of salt in this one. Matter of fact, we'll just do a little pinch. Oh, there it is on. Okay, here it comes. Again, doesn't mean we should be salting our food. We do salt our food, and that's why. Pepper is for digestion. Salt is for energy. And if you get into Celtic salt, this has, I think, 72 different minerals in it, which is why it's lighting this. And Celtic has like 80, almost 90 minerals in it. And those are the minerals our body needs. And if it's not in our food, we have to get it somewhere, because our food is being corrupted on purpose. So if you let's say you make 32 ounces of the Master Cleanse or a smoothie or a juice or whatever, right? Whatever it is that you like, and you put just a few grains of salt in it. If you can taste it, you put too much. You just want it to go through your system and digest it. A lot of headaches is a sodium issue. And when you start putting little pinches of salt here and there in your liquids, within 2 or 3 weeks, your headaches will not be as intense or will go away. But you have to be diligent with it. You have to understand that it is a deficiency, and your body is going to determine. And your commitment to it is going to determine when things like headaches are going to go away. In some of my videos, I talk about the eyes a lot, because the eyes have a lot to do with muscle strain and tension. When you look up, your head automatically goes up. You look down, it automatically goes down. You look to the side, it automatically goes to the side. And your whole body will do it. If it's a loud noise or something like that, your whole body will just turn. But your eyes are leading that. And if you take your thumbs and put them at the base of your skull, right on your neck, and you just fold your hands, like fold your fingers together like this. Just fold your fingers together like this. And you move your eyes around, you'll feel those muscles in the back, right under your skull, you'll feel those moving. Well, your eyes are far more important than just seeing. You know, pressure headaches and eye strain. This is affecting your whole upper body. And what will keep that out of there is proper movement, breath, hydration with good live liquids that will light that light, because that light is you. Melt my electrical cord here. Shut that off. And all you have to do is put a little bit of sugar in there, and it's going to affect the entire body. Matter of fact, we'll do that again just so you can see it. So that's about a level teaspoon right there. And we'll put it in here. Then another one. And in many things that we eat and drink, each swallow is like a teaspoonful. I was watching a thing about ketchup. It's 44 teaspoons in one small thing of ketchup. Now, we'll see if that can fight back from that. But this is your body. Down, up. It's doing it all the time. If you're putting exertion into something, then energy is going to deplete. And when you stop, you're breathing different, right? So you're huffing and puffing and you're pulling air into the body. And then as it starts to calm down, your energy level goes back up because you're replacing the oxygen. When you are exercising, running, some people can run 100 miles, some can only run 100 feet. That's because the lymphatic system is not able to push the lactic acid out, because that's what it is. It's all acid that makes us sick, causes pain. You get up in the morning, you're like, you might not even remember what you did. Might have been something you were working on. Then you remember, oh my God, yeah, that's right. I was on that ladder for 4 hours painting the side of the house, or, you know, whatever it is. If you're not able to expel through the 13 channels of elimination the body has to use every day, mostly the skin. This is your third kidney right here, your skin. It's the largest eliminative organ, and the largest organ in the body. So this is why it stinks if you leave it on there, because it's cellular waste. Our cells eat, breathe, digest, and eliminate, just like we do. And if the lymphatic system can't get in there to clean that up and pull that away and take it to a lymph node, which is like a septic tank, and it eats all the stuff, and this is where low vibrational cells go, like cancer cells. So when your doctor's looking at your lymph nodes and said, oh, there's cancer cells in there, well, you need to remove those. No. Your lymph nodes are there to process that. It's just that your lymphatic system is congested, it's stuck, and it needs help. And just doing stuff like this, okay? Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just simple stuff. And that moves all the lymph nodes here, opening up those 6 gates so that lymph can flow through. It has to go, this is gate 1 right here, above and below your collarbone, right next to your neck. Okay, you can tap it, rub it. Okay. The last gate on the way down is gate 6, which is behind your knees. And your balls of your feet are lymphatic pumps. They're manual. That's why walking is so good for you. Usually just breathing through your nose, go out for a stroll, right? You don't have to like be a speed walker. Just go for a walk and listen to the birds and life around us, the wind blowing through the trees, and they're giving off oxygen. They're the other half of our lungs. The sun is the other half of our lymphatic system. The earth is a huge part of our electrical system. That's why we're connected to nature. And the further we get away from it, the more dis-ease we're going to feel. They're trying to move us into a synthetic world, and we're not synthetic. So, I don't want to do it in conclusion here, but, you know, this is life. All fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables are life. All that stuff in the center of the aisle, it'll keep you alive. I will say that. It'll keep you alive, but there's a lot of stuff in there. And you know what? That food that's making everyone sick. If you go overseas where they don't do what they do here and you eat the exact same food, you get wow. You get healthy. Because your body doesn't have to fight all these chemicals, all these weird things. They're synthetic. Doesn't know what to do with them. So it starts storing them in a little trash can. And that trash can is completely enclosed because it doesn't want it to get into the body, into the system. And it keeps dumping stuff up there if you keep eating it. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the next thing you know, your doctor goes, hey, what's that spot? Let's do a biopsy and see if it's cancer. It's in a sterilized container. It's connected to the lymphatic system. You get the lymphatic system moving again and get that area moving, right? It'll soften it up and it will go away. But if you take that, just like this right here, I know you probably can't see this, but if I squeeze this, and there's two holes right there, if I squeeze that, the juice is going to come out of it. Well, everything the body put in that little sterile container, you just poke a hole in it. And they do 6 or 7 of them to get a biopsy. And what do you think happens to that liquid when it goes out and it touches the tissue around it? It has a hard time to fight it. And it starts to spread through the body. Some of the things they're doing are, it's done on, it has to be done on purpose. Has to be. You go into an eye doctor and you say, I'm having trouble with my eyesight. And they go, how old are you? And you can give me age. Yep, right on time. Run. They just wait for your lymphatic system to mess up so that you have to go to them. And they'll put you on medication that will do nothing to the lymphatic system. It'll just hide the pain. And you'll go along with that medication. And then it'll get worse and it'll get worse. And the next thing you know, you have to have a stronger medication. And time goes by, a stronger medication. And time goes by, oh, I think you're going to have surgery. And what do you get after surgery? Medication. Nothing is addressing the bathroom of the body, the lymphatic system. Your eyes, you can't have a cell that doesn't have a bathroom. So your eyes, if these gates aren't open and it backs up everywhere in the head. You know, it can be tongue cancer, it can be bleeding gums, it can be loose teeth, it can be eyesight issues, it can be brain fog, it can be forgetfulness, dementia, Alzheimer's. Because the more it backs up, the more acid is there, it's burning the cells and they can't move, they can't get out of the way. So we need to keep both the blood and the lymph flowing to maintain our health. So glaucoma, this is acids building in the eyes. When I was 6 years old, I wore double vision glasses. Very first pair I had, double vision. I did that till I was 49. And what happened at 49? I did my first master cleanse. 10 days, no food, no idea what I was doing. I just said, I'm doing it. Me and my friend Howard, he did his and I did mine. And day 7, I had to stop wearing glasses. And that was in 1999, 2000, somewhere there. It's been 24 years. I've never worn glasses since. But I keep cleaning my system. Okay. And you keep doing the herbs, tinctures, whatever it is that you can get, make yourself. Go up, you know, skull cap, upsert brain nerve, dandelion, liver, kidneys, helps with filtration, cleavers, cleavers is amazing. It's growing everywhere. And it opens the lymphatic pathways. I mean, there's just so many beautiful plants that the earth has given us, and we've been pulled away from it because it was considered witchcraft or whatever. But just know that the AMA will burn your house down to get your money. And this is your house. This is it. This is our castle. And learning how to take care of it and learning to listen to it. So this is something I do. I do dowsing. So you can douse anything. Remember, you're mostly water. So I can douse your health aura and see where joints might be not have enough fluid flowing through them, neck, back, chest, sides, hip. I was talking with a guy one time, and I was dowsing for an old well that he had on his property, and I told him I could douse his body. He didn't believe me. He didn't believe me about the well either, but I was right. And that doesn't always happen, but anyway. I said, you got something going on with your hip, right in here. There's not a lot of energy in there, and it's affecting your leg. And he'd had a hip replacement. So when you're running down with the dowsing rods, and maybe we'll do a video on that sometime. You're dowsing with the rods. If it goes in close to your body and touches it, there's not enough energy there to push it away. That's your aura. And his aura went around, and it dropped right in by his hip, and then it went back out a little tiny bit as it went down his leg. So if you want to know, and you won't even have to do this after all, you won't have to think about it because you're connected to your body. Right now, we're not connected to our body, or some of us. So you hold this next to your heart and you say, is this good for me? Okay, I'll stand sideways. Is this good for me? And my body will go forward. Now, some people's energy is actually backwards, and there are ways to pull that forward, but your body will pull forward. And if I pick up this bag of sugar and hold it next to my heart, I mean, I didn't even have to ask. It's already pushing me away from it. It doesn't want it. When you go in a grocery store and you look at something, all you have to say, is that good for me? And your body will either pull you away from it or pull you towards it. That's a very cool thing to do. Watermelons. You know, you want that yellow spot on there and some scar. This is where the scar, this kind of a brownish scar thing. That is important. The sound of it when you hit it, and the belly button where the stem came out, that should be brown. But if you look at it and say, is that ripe? And your body goes back, it's not ripe. If it goes forward, it's ripe. And say, is that the best one here for me? If your body goes forward, then that's the one you should get. This is all energy. We are energy. Everything we do is either building it or depleting it. And the best way to deplete it is put sugar in your body. Now, does that mean that I never have sugar? No, doesn't mean that at all. But I'm conscious of it because I know how it's affecting my body. And I want to keep my energy up. You know, lack of energy in the parathyroid, that's your connective tissue, hernias, pockets in your small, large intestine. When you get those pockets, the feces get stuck in there. And that's where your big parasites live. And they build colonies. And as you get your parathyroid back on track and you get cleaning your body and raising the energy in it, they can't stand to be in it. That feces in that pocket is starting to push back out because the tissue is getting stronger. And it's like going to a concert and you don't know what the music's they're going to play. and you get in there and they lock the doors and they crank it up as loud as they can, and you absolutely hate the music, the vibration, the frequency, and you can't get out. And there's only one place at the back of the building. There's a little tiny door you can squeeze through. Well, we have that door too. It's right back there. And trust me, they will leave on their own. We don't need to go hunting them. We don't need to kill them. And this is why. They're already eating, digesting, and pooping in your body. And if you kill them, not only do you have to deal with the poop, the body has to deal with the body because it's not alive. You can't have anything in your body that's not alive. And dentists are the only ones that don't believe that. Because they'll do root canals, they'll do all kinds of things to our teeth. Our teeth are connected to all our organs and glands. And it's crazy. They drill, they fill, they kill, they they replace, they put metal in your bone. It's like taking a steel tank and putting it in the ground, you know, like a fuel tank. You got to replace it after a few years because the electrical current in the earth sees that as a foreign object and it starts to eat it. And it'll eat holes right through that tank. Same thing. The body's trying to recede from it, it's trying to get rid of it. So it's starting to deteriorate the bone. Those are the things they aren't telling you. But anyway, do you have any questions, Toni?
I do. I see that we have a very quiet audience. There are no questions there. But I have a question. I am not a fan of the salt, and I understand that you say if you taste it, you put in too much. But we know what happens. It's often too much that people will consume. Now, I am wondering because instead of salt, I use dulse flakes. Have you tried that test with dulse flakes in water, or even like sea moss, which is supposed to have a lot of minerals?
As long as it's got minerals in it and you put it in water, it will light it.
Yeah, and see, it does the same with lemons. So instead of using salt, would the lemons then be enough?
Yes, but it would take longer. And with the salt, and I didn't mention this, I should have, do it for a week. If you don't have any difference, any feeling, you're not feeling any different, then stop. Because you're probably getting it in your food. But if you have migraines and you're having headaches, it might take a couple of weeks because that's a sodium issue.
Because what we found is that with a headache or a backache, it was like drink a glass of water and almost instantly the headache is gone. So, and we only drink distilled water, and distilled water has nothing in it. Then it is not the minerals, but probably the dehydration that caused the headache.
Well, that is true. Dehydration is one of the biggest issues that we have. But remember, water follows salt.
I'm sorry,
And
say that again. Water follows.
Water follows salt.
Okay.
So when you put it in your body, it can go past the blood-brain barrier and up into the head. And it can travel places like it'll go into a cell and it will sterilize the cell. That's what salt does. It sterilizes the cell and then it goes out with the dirty water and the new water comes in. But that's the action of the salt because water follows salt. That's why when you put water on like a fillet of fish, it sucks all the water out of it because water follows salt. Matter of fact, Celtic salt is almost wet when you take it out of the jar.
Okay.
So This is to demonstrate what happens when you put sugar in your body. That's really what this is for. It would do the same thing. I mean, if I put lemon, it's got quite a bit of salt in it. Yep, this sugar is all hardened because it heated up. Do that a couple more times. So the master cleanse, the dark maple syrup is conductive also. And I know Dr. Morse is not a fan of salt. It's supposed to be in your food, but so is a lot of other things. And it's missing in our food now, or it's missing in a lot of our foods. That's why seaweed, sea moss, I mean, it has salt in it. Let's see if this works. I don't know how that's going to do because I had that other stuff in there. Oh, there you go. So there's the lemon right there. But water follows salt. So this is another reason you use salt in your body, because it's helping to bring the water through the body. It pulls it and it follows it. So if you make a master cleanse with the lemon and dark maple syrup, it's grade A now because they can charge more for it, because it used to be grade B. I guess some places still have grade B. And some filtered water. Use the best water you can. If all you have is tap water, you leave it out. And this is something else too. That's for those who know how to make energy, comes through our hands. Just put your hand over the top of the glass and let your energy filtrate that water. And that water will be in harmony with your body, because nature is always seeking balance. And even though you may be out of balance, your energy is not. So your frequency is going into that water. Like when it falls on a rose, it becomes a frequency of the rose. If it falls on broccoli, it becomes a frequency of the broccoli. It helps it grow. It tunes itself to whatever it touches. So it's important to understand that our water is a huge part of this, and staying hydrated. That's why the sun-ripened fruits, berries, melons, and veggies, I mean, you don't really get much better than that. If they're grown in good soil, you really don't need any of this. But that's not how it is now. People are eating. Our government calls pizza a vegetable, because that's what they give in school, and it's listed as a vegetable. And it's some of the worst stuff you could eat. You know, they're putting fulvic acid. Fulvic acid can be found nowhere in nature. Yet everybody wants fulvic acid. It's made in a laboratory. And
yeah, I had a few big discussions in the groups about fulvic acid. It's like it can be in the soil, but it is a plant food. It's not a people food. And people are like, yeah, but it's helping me, and it's detoxing, and it heals everything, and it drives me nuts.
yes. And
It's like, no, there are no shortcuts.
no, there are none. So to have a foliate fulvic acid means it's already been broken down. And that we can have. Now, I will say, just a little over half the population can eat fulvic acid and it won't bother them. But about, I don't know, I'm not big on percentages because I don't believe them. But almost half, say in the 40s is what they're saying, of the people cannot digest fulvic acid, and they're taking it and it's not helping them. You know, if you do something like this right here, You do this for 30 days and you don't get results, shift, do something different. There's people who have been on the same diet for 16 years and have never got better. Because they're not explorers. We have to become explorers. Listen to our body. If we eat something and it depletes our energy, we need to stop doing that. Even though 10 people beside you can. It's like people who drink massive amounts of alcohol. Their body's able to detox that out. And they live to be over 100. And someone else can hardly have a beer without it affecting them. In junk food, same thing with junk food. So there are all kinds of challenges, but the expert is our body. It's not the doctor. It's not the person down the street. It's not me. It's your body. It's your temple. And we've just forgotten how to listen to it because we've been listening to people who profit from our dis-ease. And we just went through 3 years causing massive issues in our bodies. And they look at it like, yeah, baby, profit, profit, profit. There's 8 billion people on Earth. If I can get them all just to take one drug over what they're already taking, right? That's massive profit. It's the only way they can do it now. There's so many people on drugs that, and when I say drugs, I'm talking about the store down the street. You don't go buy medication. It says drugs right on the side of the building. Medication is in nature, in herbs and plants, and we have to find the ones that work for us, because there are many levels of plants that will do the same thing, but it might not be in your frequency. So if you took, let's say, dandelion, for instance, or echinacea. Echinacea is an amazing plant, and it's beautiful, and you can grow it right in your garden. If you take that and you're on it for 5 years and you haven't had any results, get away from it. You should have gotten away from it in 30 days, maybe 60. If you're not feeling better, then shift. I don't care what it is, and I don't care who tells you. But people have been on medications for 30 years and they've never gotten better. Because that's what their doctor knows, and that's what their doctor tells them, teaches them. And it's a shame because the body wants to heal. It's self-regulating. And these drugs that they're giving us are trying to regulate our systems. So not only does the body have to fight to try to regain its balance, now it has to fight a drug which is trying to take away its ability to regulate. So we're getting all kinds of things. And most people are on 7 medications. This is by the Medical Association, not me. 7 medications. You're on chemical life support. And that's pretty scary, because there are people who are on 13, 15, people's suitcases full of stuff. And they go to a clinic and they detox and they learn to breathe. And within a few months, no medications. That's how powerful we are, how powerful our breath is, and what we eat and what we drink and what we pay attention to. So the past 3 years being shut in, don't go out in the sun. The sun gives life to everything. There isn't anything outside that's not growing because of the sun and the water and the earth. But we can't go in it because it's bad, right? So it's been here for billions of years, let's say. We don't actually know. And everything's been growing all that time. And somehow They convinced us that it was bad for us. Now, there may be people that might not be able to go out in the sun for a long time, but don't go out in the sun for a long time. Listen to your body. Sit in the shade. Sit where maybe the light shining through the leaves and the wind is blowing the leaves back and forth, and you're constantly getting sunlight and shade. Ground yourself to the earth. Good hydration. Rest. That's what most of us need. We don't need movement. Other than to loosen our joints up and get things flowing. That's why Qigong is so important, is it's slow and it builds more energy than it burns. And it loosens up joints so that you can, do things with your body. But rest is the biggest thing, to shut the mind down and let the heart relax, because the mind will drive this thing crazy if they're not in harmony with each other. And that's what school is about. School is about shutting down your creative side and opening up your analytical side. And that is energy. You get lost, like I always wanted to be an artist, and I was always told, well, you can't be an artist because there's no money in it. Well, not only was that not true, but it lowered my energy. And even though I kept doing it, I kept getting criticized for it. So after my accident, I said, I'm going to become an artist. I came home with a wheelchair and I started doing art. And I mean, it was incredible. It took me all over the world. And you can do the same thing. Why? Because every morning when I got up, I was passionate about what I was doing. I was paying attention. And now that I've gotten through a few of the limitations through breath work and meditation at night, I've gotten rid of some limitations. My artwork is 10 times better than it ever was. I actually watch it. I watch the pencil and I watch it move. It's like it's not me drawing. It's kind of like when I wrote my book. I grew up not being able to read or write. And I just sit in my own stupidity every day in school. And it took me 15 years to get through to high school, through the 12th grade. And I never figured out why. I had a job, I had a car, and if I'd come back from that when they graduated me, I'd have been 21. So I'd been old enough to buy alcohol, had a car, and a job. It doesn't work well in high school. So that's why I never stayed back again, because I was they have A, B, C, D, E, and F. Well, I was a red F student. The only thing I ever passed was phys ed. And so there was a lot of pain there for me as I was going through all this, and I kind of receded and pulled back from myself. But I could go home, tear a car or motorcycle apart, put it back together, even though I couldn't do anything in school. So these are the challenges that we have, and these will all steal our energy. When you are passionate about something, you have more energy than you could ever imagine, because it's coming from internal, right? Like anger and hate and destruction and all these words, you pile them up on this side, and that's what you say every day, aches and pains and I can't get ahead and all this stuff. Where if you go, those are all low oxygen situations in our body. We're talking our energy down through our words. Love, joy, peace, happiness, elated, ecstatic. These are all high energy things, and it changes our breath. And our breath is our energy. It's our metabolism. You want to turn your metabolism up? Learn to breathe. And it will do just that. And your energy will explode. As long as you put some good hydration and fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. And the only reason I like the Master Cleanse is, whatever you buy this for, you put a little bit of maple syrup in there to taste, and you put just a little tiny pinch of salt in it. And you don't even have to use salt if you don't want to. But that's what's going to happen. It's going to charge your body. And charging your body is our job. We're taking care of our house. And stop listening to the people that profit billions, if not trillions of dollars every year. Every disease they come up with is just another opportunity for more money to come in so they can do research to create something that will hide the symptoms. Okay, we have anything else?
No, I didn't get any more questions. I had one thing that I like the lemon water with some maple syrup, and
Yeah.
I drink that like daily throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm doing good with that. You made a very good presentation because it was easy to see, and yeah. I was going to mention something else that I was happy to hear, and now it's like that little antenna is disconnected right now. Yeah, that was something that I did not know. I really did not know. And I love the way that you explained that. That is something I always say we keep learning every day. And I am so grateful for that. I'm grateful for you. We are a little over the hour and I have another meeting coming up, so I have to close it. And I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank you, Gary, for being here. And let's come up with another exciting topic for another time. And yeah, it's love to everyone, love to you, Gary, and until the next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And remember, it's a pinch of salt. It's not like a lot. And the maple syrup is to taste. And every time you take a sip, you say, my mind is getting clearer. My body's getting stronger. My digestive system is performing perfectly. And that's the new story, the new words, because we speak our light and darkness into our life simply by the words we choose, and that's energy, and the emphasis that we put on those words. And it affects our breath, and our breath is everything. So with that, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. Till the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.